This year, Drug Enforcement Administration agents have seized more than 45 million fentanyl pills and thousands of pounds of fentanyl powder.
So at noon, a record-setting number of fentanyl pills seized in Douglas County.
100 arrested. FBI smashes billion-dollar cartel trucking empire.
Today, we dismantle a criminal transportation empire that has poisoned American highways for over a decade. At 3:47 a.m., Interstate 10 outside Phoenix, Arizona goes dark. Not from a power failure, from a federal communications blackout. Over 400 agents from the FBI's Organized Crime Division, ICE's Homeland Security Investigations Unit, the DEA, Arizona Department of Public Safety, and elite tactical teams move through the desert darkness like a coordinated strike force. Armored convoys idle at highway exits. Surveillance drones circle overhead with thermal imaging locked on 18 separate truck stops and logistics hubs across Arizona, New Mexico, and West Texas. Radio silence, no sirens, no warnings. Their target isn't just a fleet of commercial trucks. It isn't just a drug smuggling operation or a money laundering front. It's a billion-dollar cartel transportation empire controlled by the Sinaloa Cartel, the most sophisticated logistics network operating on American soil. An empire built on methamphetamine pipelines, cocaine distribution, fentanyl trafficking, and human smuggling so deeply embedded into legitimate commerce that it had turned America's interstate highway system into a narcotic superhighway. And at the center of it all was a man who swore to protect public safety. Deputy Transportation Commissioner Victor Morales, a champion of infrastructure development, a voice for border state logistics reform, a beloved advocate for the trucking industry, and according to encrypted files seized just hours ago, the silent architect of the largest cartel trucking network in United States history. What federal investigators were about to uncover would expose how far corruption can go when power decides the law no longer applies. At 3:52 a.m., Team Alpha breaches a freight distribution center outside Tucson. The loading bay doors explode inward. Flashbangs detonate in rapid succession, lighting up the cavernous warehouse like strobe lightning. Agents in black tactical gear pour through, rifles raised, voices shouting commands in English and Spanish. Inside, they find 53 commercial tractor trailers parked in perfect rows, clean, professional, indistinguishable from any legitimate logistics operation. But when agents pop open the first trailer, they don't find consumer goods or agricultural freight. They find concealed compartments welded into the cargo floors, hidden hydraulic lifts, false walls lined with insulation to block drug-sniffing dogs. Behind those walls, 400 kilograms of methamphetamine, 200 kilograms of cocaine, 70,000 fentanyl pills stamped to look like prescription Xanax, and steel lockboxes containing $3 million in vacuum-sealed cash bundles. But the drugs were just the beginning. In a manager's office hidden behind a false supply closet, agents find encrypted servers running 24 hours a day. Digital dashboards tracking every truck in real time, GPS coordinates, driver manifests, border crossing schedules, and something that makes every agent in that room go silent. A master ledger showing payments to 37 officials across 5 states, border inspectors, on-way station supervisors, state highway patrol officers, and at the top of the payment chain, a single encrypted signature, VM Deputy Commissioner. This wasn't a smuggling ring. This was a command-level logistics operation with government protection baked into every mile. 72 hours later, inside an FBI cyber forensics lab in Quantico, analysts crack the encryption on the seized servers. What they find is a blueprint. Codename Operation Rolling Thunder. It wasn't just about moving drugs. It was a systematic takeover of America's commercial trucking infrastructure, designed to turn the interstate highway system into a permanent cartel pipeline protected by state authority. The operation had 6 layers. Layer 1, shell trucking companies. The Sinaloa Cartel controlled over 80 logistics firms with legitimate Department of Transportation licenses, companies with clean safety records, tax filings, and state contracts. Golden West Freight, Desert Star Logistics, Sunbelt Transport Solutions. Every single one was a front. Layer 2, cartel-trained drivers. Over 200 drivers were recruited from Mexico, given commercial driver's licenses through fraudulent testing programs, and embedded into the network. They were paid $5,000 per run. They didn't know the full scope. They just knew the routes, the pickup times, and the drop-off codes. Layer 3, concealed cargo systems. Every truck was retrofitted with hydraulic compartments designed by cartel engineers. The modifications were invisible to standard inspections, X-ray resistant materials, the heat-shielded panels, decoy cargo shipments of furniture, produce, or construction materials stacked on top. Layer 4, border and checkpoint corruption. Deputy Commissioner Morales used his position to coordinate way station bypasses, timed maintenance closures, and relaxed inspection protocols. Internal emails showed he authorized efficiency directives that reduced random truck inspections by 40% along I-10 and I-40 corridors. Layer 5, financial laundering through logistics contracts. The cartel funneled drug profits back through state infrastructure contracts. Morales directed millions in state transportation grants to shell companies that kicked back 80% to offshore accounts in Panama and Singapore. Over $600 million was cleaned in 3 years. Layer 6, human smuggling as operational cover. The same trucks moving narcotics also transported migrants across state lines. Over 1,200 people per year were smuggled in hidden compartments. Some paid for passage. Others were trafficked into forced labor. Many never made it out alive. This wasn't corruption. This was engineered infrastructure treason. This was a state official weaponizing his authority to build a cartel superhighway. And the final file recovered from Morales' encrypted server was titled Phase 2, National Expansion. It outlined a plan to replicate the Arizona model in 10 other states. More shell companies, more corrupted officials, more highways turned into narcotics pipelines, all funded by laundered money and protected by political cover at the state and federal level. If federal agents had arrived 1 year later, Phase 2 would have been operational. At 5:11 a.m., inside a federal command center at Luke Air Force Base outside Phoenix, a digital war map lights up with 147 red markers across Arizona, New Mexico, West Texas, and Southern California. Every marker is a cartel asset. Every marker is a target. The operation has a name, Highway Havoc. Over 1,000 federal agents, 40 SWAT teams, Black Hawk helicopters from the Arizona National Guard, armored units from DHS, and air support from U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Surveillance aircraft tracking every convoy movement in real time along the southern border. The raids begin at dawn. In Phoenix, agents storm a truck depot and seize 22 tractor trailers loaded with 600 kilograms of methamphetamine, 300 kilograms of cocaine, and $2 million in cash hidden inside tool chests and spare tire compartments. They arrest 11 drivers and 3 logistics coordinators on federal racketeering charges. In El Paso, SWAT teams hit a maintenance facility where cartel mechanics were installing concealed compartments into 18-wheelers. They recover blueprints showing hydraulic systems designed to hide up to 1 ton of narcotics per truck. They arrest 9 cartel engineers and seize cutting-edge smuggling technology worth millions. In Albuquerque, federal agents raid a fleet management office and recover financial records showing 18 months of payoffs totaling $12 million to border inspectors, state troopers, and DOT officials. They arrest 14 corrupt officials who took cash payments to wave trucks through checkpoints without inspection. In Tucson, ICE agents breach a cartel safe house where human smuggling victims were held before being moved north. They find 43 migrants locked inside shipping containers in 110-degree heat. No water, no ventilation. 3 were already dead. The survivors are rushed to hospitals while agents arrest 7 cartel operatives responsible for the smuggling pipeline. And in Scottsdale, at Deputy Commissioner Victor Morales' private estate, FBI agents execute a no-knock warrant at 6:03 a.m. Morales is in his home office when tactical teams breach his front gate. He stands surrounded by agents in full tactical gear and says nothing. His home tells the story for him. Luxury furnishings. Your original artwork worth hundreds of thousands. A garage with 5 vehicles totaling over $1 million. In a hidden wall safe behind a sliding bookshelf. $9 million in cash, gold bars, and encrypted hard drives containing every transaction, every payment, every name. Deputy Commissioner Victor Morales is arrested on 78 federal counts, including racketeering, conspiracy to distribute narcotics, money laundering, human smuggling, and obstruction of justice. If convicted on all counts, he faces life in federal prison without possibility of parole. The underworld took more damage in 8 hours than in the last 8 years, but the arrests didn't stop with the deputy commissioner. Federal investigators examining the seized servers uncovered the full extent of the infiltration. 62 officials were compromised, DOT inspectors who falsified truck safety logs, border agents who allowed smuggling convoys to pass with prearranged signals, weigh station supervisors who shut down inspection scales when cartel trucks approached, and 5 state legislators who pushed bills to reduce commercial vehicle inspections in exchange for campaign donations from shell logistics companies. One DEA agent who had worked undercover inside the network for 18 months said this during his debriefing. This wasn't just a drug operation. This was a parallel transportation system. The cartel had their own highways, their own enforcement, their own government, and they operated with the blessing of people who were supposed to protect the public. The badge will be rebuilt, but trust takes decades to restore. Later, the investigation also revealed that Deputy Commissioner Morales' network wasn't isolated to the Southwest. Forensic accountants traced money flows across 14 states, trucking routes from Arizona to Chicago, from Texas to Atlanta, from California to New York. Shell companies registered in Nevada, Delaware, and Wyoming. Offshore accounts in Panama, Singapore, and the Cayman Islands. The Sinaloa cartel had built a continental logistics empire, and Deputy Commissioner Morales was the gatekeeper. Federal analysts discovered that the network moved over 12 tons of methamphetamine, 8 tons of cocaine, and 2 million fentanyl pills per month without triggering a single interdiction alert. Shipping manifests were altered, GPS trackers were spoofed, and weigh stations were strategically closed for system upgrades whenever high-value convoys passed through. The final file recovered from Deputy Commissioner Morales' hidden server was titled Nationwide Blueprint. It outlined a plan to replicate the Arizona operation in 12 additional states. More shell trucking firms, more corrupted transportation officials, more highways weaponized for cartel profit, all funded by laundered billions and protected by political influence at every level of government. If federal agents had arrived 18 months later, the blueprint would have been fully operational. This story is not just about drug trafficking or money laundering or corrupt officials. It's about what happens when power no longer needs violence, when it only needs silence, and when it only needs ambition dressed in a government uniform. Deputy Commissioner Victor Morales didn't force officials to comply. He bought them. He gave them money. He gave them influence. He made them complicit. And in return, they gave him everything. $1 billion, 12 tons of drugs per month, 1,200 people smuggled annually, thousands of lives destroyed by methamphetamine, fentanyl, and cocaine, families torn apart, communities shattered. This is the real cost of corruption, not just stolen money, stolen humanity. If you believe every trucking company should be inspected with real consequences for trafficking, comment "Inspect" below. If you believe political infiltration by organized crime is a national security threat, comment "Expose." And if you're still watching, tap like so more people see this story. Because this isn't just an Arizona problem. This is a system problem, and it's happening in your state too. Stay here, because this investigation isn't finished. Federal prosecutors believe there are more networks operating in the shadows, more officials who sold their power, more victims waiting to be found. Hit subscribe so you're here when the next raid happens. This is the infiltration case that proves corruption doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be patient. Stay vigilant, because the next official promising to improve your infrastructure might already be building the empire that will destroy it.